Have you ever asked yourself why, despite working harder than ever, some people still seem to have it easier? They close deals more quickly, attract stronger relationships, recover from setbacks as though they barely registered, and you wonder, why not me? It's not luck. It's not pure privilege. It's alignment. That alignment begins with understanding and applying one of the most powerful laws of the universe, the law of attraction. Here's the surprising truth. You're already using this law. Right now, in every thought, every belief, every repeated feeling. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're transmitting vibrational signals that attract matching experiences. Brian Tracy put it succinctly, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. That means if your life feels chaotic, blocked, or stagnant, it's rarely about your job, your partner, or the economy. It's about your dominant mental frequency, the dominant emotional tone, the stories you repeat to yourself, the identity you maintain daily. The Bible explains this beautifully in Proverbs 23:7. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. This isn't poetic abstraction, it's spiritual physics. Your mind and your emotions generate a vibrational signature, and that signature magnetizes experiences in your world that feel like home to it. Here's why this law is so powerful. It doesn't respond to your words, it responds to your vibration. It doesn't hear affirmations alone, it interprets frequency. So your words matter, but only as much as the emotional and mental frequency behind them. If you declare abundance but live in fear of lack, the frequency of worry will drown out your words. If you say, "I'm healed," while maintaining invisible doubt in your body, the energetic movement toward healing stalls. The law doesn't judge, it responds to what is actually dominant in your system. Which means alignment becomes everything. Alignment happens when your thoughts, feelings, and self-image line up. When your dominant frequency is one of possibility, clarity, peace, worthiness, hope, then the law of attraction isn't a wish, it's a magnetic field. And here's how you begin aligning. First, become aware. Notice your dominant inner narrative. Is it scarcity thinking, comparison, resentment? Or is it gratitude, vision, belief in purpose, confidence in your worth? Second, choose to shift. You refuse the old frequency and tune in to a new one. That doesn't mean avoidance of reality. It means starting with internal coherence before demanding external change. Third, practice consistency. Frequency isn't a mood, it's a default. It is shaped by repetition, by daily mental habits, emotional calibration, identity reinforcement. Real mastery is not about wishing harder. It's about aligning internally, so your vibration, unconsciously, is calling in your desires without effort. So the question becomes not how do I attract what I want, but how do I embody the life I want frequently enough that it becomes the traction under my feet? Alignment begins in thought, but it deepens through feeling and solidifies through seeing yourself as that person before evidence arrives. If this introduction has stirred something inside you, don't wait. Comment right now. I choose to align my mind, my emotions, and my actions with abundance. Speak it, own it, let it anchor your frequency. Then subscribe to the channel if you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting. This is where mental clarity meets spiritual power, and your results become inevitable. Because the law of attraction isn't a mystical gimmick, it's a natural principle, always on. And when you tune your frequency toward clarity, worth, and possibility, the universe responds accordingly. Your reality is not a battle of circumstance, it's a mirror. What you see outside is generated from within. So start aligning. The brilliant life you want isn't out there. It is simply the reflection of who you choose to be vibrationally here. Imagine your mind as a powerful broadcasting tower. Every single thought you generate sends out a signal, an electrical impulse. But that's just the beginning, because a thought by itself is not strong enough to create lasting attraction. Now, imagine that thought paired with emotion. When you feel something, joy, fear, gratitude, shame, your body generates a magnetic field. That emotional charge amplifies the signal of the thought. And the combination of those two, what you think and what you feel, is your vibration. It's not a metaphor, it's physics. You are, every day, broadcasting an electromagnetic signature into the world. That vibration is not invisible to the universe. It's not neutral. It's magnetic. It draws experiences to you whether you're aware of it or not. This is the actual engine of the law of attraction. You're not manifesting from thin air. You're pulling in events, people, and outcomes that match the internal frequency you've been transmitting over time. Let's take a look at the science behind it. Your brain, according to neuroscience, emits electrical impulses with every thought. These signals form an measurable electric field. Meanwhile, your heart, which generates the largest electromagnetic field in the body, responds to emotion. It creates a magnetic signature that radiates several feet beyond your physical form. Now, here's what's remarkable. When your thoughts and emotions are aligned, meaning you're thinking with clarity and feeling with intention, you create a coherent frequency. Dr. Joe Dispenza describes it this way. The moment you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, you begin to change your electromagnetic field, and that's when you start to attract. This is why thinking about success while feeling anxious doesn't work, because the thought says, I want abundance, but the feeling says, I'm afraid. The signal is scrambled, the vibration is inconsistent, and the law of attraction doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your dominant emotional signature. Let's make this practical. Brian Tracy teaches, whatever is impressed on the mind is eventually expressed in reality. That means if you're constantly repeating thoughts like, I'm not ready, I don't have what it takes, or things never work out for me, your subconscious will accept those statements as fact, and your emotional body will reinforce them with fear, doubt, or shame. You'll broadcast scarcity. And what will you attract? More circumstances that reflect scarcity. Here's a real-life example. Eric, a business coach, wanted to attract more high-paying clients, but his inner thoughts were filled with fear. What if I'm not worth it? What if no one sees my value? What if I fail again? His emotions followed suit. Anxiety, insecurity, resistance. He was putting in the work, creating content, making offers, reaching out, but everything felt hard. Nothing was flowing. It felt like he was pushing a boulder uphill. Until one day, it clicked.
He realized he wasn't attracting based on effort, he was attracting based on emotion. He began rewiring his inner script. Every morning, he spoke out loud, "I deliver powerful results. My clients find me with ease. I deserve to succeed." But he didn't stop there. He also practiced feeling the emotion of success before it showed up. He visualized with gratitude. He replaced his anxiety with anticipation. He acted as if the clients were already coming. Within 60 days, everything shifted. Leads increased, sales closed faster, referrals poured in. He doubled his income, not because he worked harder, but because he broadcasted a new frequency. That's not magic. That's coherence. Thoughts plus emotions equal vibration. And your vibration always attracts. Let's take it a step further. Your nervous system is always seeking familiarity. If you've lived in stress or fear for years, your body becomes addicted to that state. It becomes your emotional baseline. So even when good things begin to happen, you might unconsciously sabotage them because they don't match your dominant frequency. This is why people relapse into toxic relationships, quit right before breakthroughs, or forget to follow through on plans that could change their lives. Because their internal magnet hasn't changed. The law of attraction, in this sense, is not just a cosmic principle. It's a reflection of your subconscious conditioning. So how do you change your magnet? Well, you start by noticing your thoughts. Awareness is step one. Most people live in a trance of negative thinking and don't even realize it. Then you shift your emotional baseline. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to elevate your emotional state. Why? Because the body can't feel lack and gratitude at the same time. And finally, you reinforce the new identity. Affirm the version of you who already lives in alignment with what you desire. Speak it, feel it, act on it, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. This is not about pretending. It's about choosing to tune your signal to what you want to receive. Because the truth is, you're always attracting, not based on what you hope for, but based on what you expect. Not based on what you ask for, but based on what you believe. This is your power. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a broadcaster of reality. You get to choose the channel. So I'll leave you with this question. What frequency have you been tuned to? And are you ready to change the station? Let's move forward.
Amanda was a freelance designer and a single mother of two, highly talented, tirelessly dedicated, and fiercely independent. On the surface, she had everything you'd expect of someone building her own brand. But behind the scenes, she carried an internal script that whispered, "There's never enough." Not enough clients, not enough money, not enough time, not enough belief. Her reality reflected that inner narrative. Bills piled up, nights were sleepless. Every day felt like scrambling to keep her head above water. The fear of scarcity had become the default soundtrack of her professional life. Then one evening, exhausted and scrolling through motivational quotes, she encountered this line from Brian Tracy. "You are a living magnet. You inevitably attract the people and situations that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts." That phrase landed like a revelation. She stopped and felt it, not intellectually, but deep in her body. She suddenly realized, oh, I'm not attracting failure, I'm broadcasting scarcity. That awareness became her turning point. If her internal signal was feeding lack, she could choose to reset it. And that's exactly what she did. Amanda committed to 3 core shifts that transformed everything. 1. Morning mantra reset. She replaced her habitual negative self-talk with a proactive mantra. Every morning she looked in the mirror and declared, "Clients find me. I'm in demand. I deliver excellence." Those words didn't just sit on her lips, she spoke them into her chest, feeling the emotion underneath, not like pretense, but like reinforcement. With repetition, that mantra became a neural anchor. It began to rewire her internal magnet. 2. Emotional alignment practice. Before engaging any client, phone call, or project work, she took 5 minutes to pause. Eyes closed, she visualized her desired outcome, not as wishful thinking, but as already real. She pictured the client expressing gratitude. She felt the satisfaction of designing with clarity. She anchored that emotional state as her default mental posture before entering the workday. This simple step began to shift her vibrational baseline. When inspiration and strategy aligned within her, her emotional signal changed, and her job became emotionally coherent before it even began. And 3, congruent action. Amanda then aligned her external behavior to match her new internal frequency. She raised her rates. No longer undercharging out of fear, she started pricing from value alignment, not scarcity. She revised her portfolio, showcasing quality over quantity, and positioned herself as a premium creative offering. She began saying no to clients who drained her time and energy, choosing instead to align with those who appreciated her excellence. With each aligned action, her mental magnet strengthened. The external decisions became evidence of internal coherence, not effort from lack, but choice from confidence. Now, listen to this 90-day turnaround story of Amanda. Within 3 months, her world shifted. She signed 3 long-term clients who paid premium rates and treated her as a partner, not a vendor. She doubled her income without doubling her hours. She moved into the apartment she had dreamed of, bright, spacious, restful. She closed the farewell chapter to scarcity with a powerful internal affirmation. I finally started living as if I deserved it. Amanda didn't change the advertising market. She didn't manipulate partnerships. She changed her internal frequency and watched the outer world respond in alignment. So, what made her transformation potent? What made Amanda's journey potent was not hustle. It was coherence. She aligned thought, emotion, and action around one clear narrative: worth, value, excellence. That internal alignment generated a magnetic frequency that pulled in matched opportunities. Amanda's story illustrates 4 key principles. Number 1, you attract what you believe you deserve. She believed scarcity was her identity, so her world reflected that. When she shifted to believing in her value, permission to receive followed. Number 2, emotional resonance amplifies intention. Her mantra, visualization, and mental rehearsal weren't empty affirmations, they were emotional rehearsals. Her magnet carried the charge of expectancy. Number 3, behavior must follow identity. Raising her rates, refining her portfolio, and choosing better clients were necessary to confirm her internal change in the external world. And number 4, the law of attraction is real-time alignment. Amanda didn't wait for perfect evidence. She started living as if her new reality was already happening, and the universe responded. So what does this mean for you? Amanda's awakening might feel familiar or distant, but here's what we all can take from her path. Every moment, you're broadcasting an energetic signature. If you speak of growth while vibrating fear, you'll attract the energy of fear. If you declare abundance while living in complaint,
you'll draw more complaint. Transformation begins when you become conscious of that broadcast and refuse to continue tuning into old scripts. Start with awareness, then adopt a mantra aligned with what you desire. Reinforce it daily, feel it internally, visualize it clearly, and then act accordingly. Upgrade your identity to match. So, your next step, if Amanda's story speaks to you, then it's time to ask yourself, what dominant narrative have I been broadcasting? And how will I shift it today? Because you're already attracting, not by chance, but by frequency. And the only question that matters is what frequency choose to play. This isn't about forcing change. It's about becoming alignment. Once your internal broadcast shifts, what used to be resistance becomes resonance. Yes, it takes consistency, it takes clarity, and it takes emotional courage. But when your internal magnet matches your goals, the world will arrange itself accordingly. Amanda didn't fix the world. She fixed her frequency, and her life followed. Now, it's your turn.
Here's a truth many people miss. The law of attraction doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to who you are being right now. You might have a long wish list of desires, better income, relationships, health, success. But the law of attraction doesn't actually respond to the wish list. It responds to the vibration of your current identity. Brian Tracy explains it clearly. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are in harmony with. That means affirmations without conviction, without a shift in identity, don't work. You can repeat, "I'm successful" all day long, but if you feel deep inside unworthy or insecure, your vibration will cancel out your words. So, I want you to ask yourself, what are you being? Are you thinking like a victim or a visionary? Are you feeling lack or radiating trust? Are you acting from fear or stepping from purpose? Because you don't attract from your words alone. You attract from your state of being. Take a look at Romans 4:17, which says, God calls things that are not as though they were. That's not just poetic language, it's spiritual alignment in action. It's choosing to feel, speak, and act in advance as though your desired reality is already happening. That alignment forces the universe to catch up. It gives you profound control. You don't need to fix the economy, reform your family background, or change global circumstances. You only need to shift your internal identity. Identity calibrates frequency. Frequency calibrates attraction. Attraction brings external outcomes. It's not hearsay. It's spiritual physics in motion. If you keep broadcasting scarcity, worry, or unworthiness, you'll attract scarcity, worry, and unworthiness, even if you're praying for different results. You draw not what you wish for. You draw what you broadcast consistently. Identity is the online username of your attraction account. Let's break this down more clearly. Every identity you hold broadcasts a frequency. You can't half believe something. Either you own it or it owns you. For instance, if your identity is "I'm struggling," that gets reinforced each time you affirm it. Doubt becomes default. You don't have to act on it to live it. You already live it internally. When identity shifts to "I am worthy," suddenly your mind begins to scan for proof. You begin to see referrals, opportunities, frequency shifts. Your brain starts acting like a filter for alignment. Many people temporarily raise their frequency through motivational quotes, podcasts, or affirmations and end up slipping back. Why does this happen? Because their identity remained rooted in old programming. Change doesn't hold until identity changes first. Identity exercise, the internal master shift. Write down your current dominant identity statement. For example, "I'm always behind," "I'm not enough," "I'm always scrambling."
Really dig in. Rewrite it to the identity you want. For example, I manage time wisely. I am worthy. I live in ease. Practice speaking and feeling that new statement each morning and evening with emotion. Track what actions become easier or possible because you consciously embody that new identity even before full evidence appears. Watch how your days begin shifting, not by force, but by internal, steady alignment. Realignment in 3 practical steps. 1. Notice your current identity cues. When fear, worry, or comparison emerge, do not shame yourself. Simply observe. Those cues are like internal temperature indicators. 2. Choose a new identity phrase. Write it in present tense with authority. I deliver generosity. I operate from abundance. I am creative, capable, calm. 3. Act as if. Even small decisions define identity. Say no to what doesn't align. Say yes to what resonates. Behave with integrity to the identity you are becoming. Your internal calibration amplifies through repetition. Over days, weeks, months, identity becomes default. Behavior becomes natural. Results emerge aligned. Why this identity-based attraction is so powerful? It bypasses external chaos. No need to wait for changing conditions. You adjust the signal. It avoids aimless effort. Instead of pushing against resistance, you invite cooperation from life by matching frequency. It sustains growth. New habits flow naturally from a new identity. This is lasting, not superficial. It positions you as creator, not victim. You become intentional originator of your reality. Entity in action, a micro example. Suppose you're preparing a pitch. Your internal identity says, I'm underqualified. That voice triggers anxiety and misrepresentation. You stumble. Your body language reflects doubt. The pitch wraps up without momentum because your internal frequency sabotaged the moment. Now, what if you walked in feeling, even if imperfect, like you already enjoyed value, clarity, and authority? You present from a place of alignment. Your body, voice, words, and energy all radiate confidence. The law of attraction responds by aligning opportunity, rapport, follow-up, even before the pitch ends. How to keep realigning identity when life pushes back? Life will counter you. Old patterns, limiting beliefs, external triggers, they'll push thought loops back in. That's expected. Identity work isn't once off, it's maintained. Reaffirm your identity statement when resistance arises. Pause, reset, speak your identity. Rehearse emotional resonance regularly. Gratitude, visualization, embodiment. Celebrate small consistency. Each moment you act from identity, even before the outcome, it lays new brain wiring. Watch for signs of misalignment, creeping comparison, unnecessary worry, reactive habits. Pause, realign. Final thought. The potent truth of the law of attraction lies here. You always attract who you're being, not what you say you want. Your identity is the signal. Your actions are the proof. Your results are the reception. Change your identity internal. Frequency transforms. Actions begin to align. Outcomes adjust. That's why identity vibration is so powerful. It's the core of attraction. So, take a moment right now. Ask yourself, who am I being today? Your answer is far more important than your aspirations. Align it carefully. Make it intentional. Let your vibration speak of worth, clarity, purpose, and abundance. And watch the outer world begin to respond to your new identity. That is where true transformation begins.
The law of attraction is not mystical. It's mechanical. It's spiritual. It's emotional. And above all, it's real. Here's how it works. Your thoughts send the signal. Your emotions charge it. Your actions confirm it.
And the universe, life itself, responds accordingly. Brian Tracy nailed it. Whatever you dwell upon grows in your reality. The mind is the control tower of your destiny. Think of your mind as the command center. Every thought you repeat, every emotion you allow, every action you take is a directive broadcast to life. When you learn to align all three with clarity and intention, the law of attraction shifts from a theory to a dependable function in your life. Romans 12:2 brings it home. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's not only spiritual wisdom, it's mental reprogramming in action. It's saying, don't remodel your life, you rebuild your mind. When your thinking changes, everything else follows. Here's the liberating truth. You don't have to force outcomes. You don't have to chase blessings. You don't have to hustle loudly or manipulate circumstances. You just need to become the version of yourself to which those outcomes naturally belong. Because the law of attraction responds to identity, not intensity. Screaming affirmations from anxiety doesn't work. Shouting, "I'm abundant," while trembling inside doesn't retrain your energy. But embodying the being of abundance, quietly confident, emotionally coherent, action aligned, that changes the signal. Think of identity as the radio station you're tuned into. Change the frequency, and the external life you experience shifts too. So what this means for you: you are not a victim of the economy. You are not trapped by a broken family past. You are not limited by someone else's expectations. Your internal program determines your external experience. Shift your internal station through thought alignment, emotional calibration, grounded behavior, and life begins to mirror your internal design. If your thoughts embrace clarity and vision, if your feelings carry gratitude, peace, purposeful expectation, if your actions reflect that integrity, then life starts delivering content that matches, not effort from desperation, but energy from alignment. The power of internal alignment. When your mind becomes the control tower, you stop reacting. You begin responding intentionally. Anxiety no longer drives your decisions because your internal system has been recalibrated. You begin magnetizing solutions, relationships, opportunities, not for how much you work, but for how consistently you broadcast alignment. The results become a byproduct of your internal coherence. Even in chaos, you hold space. Even in pressure, you remain anchored. Even when setbacks rise, you stay in command of your internal frequency. Closing invitation to action. This moment is not just the end of a video. It's an invitation to ongoing transformation. If your inner life, your thoughts, emotions, actions needs alignment, here's what to do now. Comment below. I align my thoughts, emotions, and actions with abundance, truth, and purpose. Speak it. Live it. Let that moment signal your readiness to change your frequency. Subscribe to the channel if you're ready to stop chasing life and start attracting it. Share this video with someone stuck in reaction. Help them discover that the real attractor is not out there, but within. Because this is where mindset meets spirit, and your future becomes a magnet for what you were born to live. You already have everything inside you: clarity, purpose, worth, and potential. Let your mind become the command center. Let your thoughts decree direction. Let your emotional tone set frequency. Let your actions express identity. Then watch how the world rearranges itself to reflect you back.